Good morning, everybody. This is DearMamaSal on a very strange looking Monday morning. It's 12 degrees here in southern British Columbia. That's 12 degrees centigrade, which would make it 54 in Fahrenheit. So I did a bit of the weekend update last night, and I'm going to do a bit more today. First of all, I need to address the problem that I had with the video from yesterday. And I think this is a real story about life and your goals and what you want in life. Because I put up the vlog last night before I went out for dinner. I was due to go out for dinner, so I made sure that I had everything ready and I uploaded it before I went to dinner. Then something made me just check something on the video, so I played it, and guess what? It was really weird. It was all fuzzy. So I took the video down and I uploaded it a second time. And I checked the original footage, and the original footage was just fine. So I uploaded it again, thinking, well, okay, fine, there's obviously a problem somewhere that I don't understand, but let's just get it back up again, because, you know, you do what you have to do. So even though that was pushing me a little bit for time, I did it a second time and then a third before I went out for dinner. When I got back from dinner, guess what? I saw that the video that was up was still fuzzy. Now, I don't want to talk about how delighted I was with that. But you understand that I now have choices to make. And the choices are, oh well, nearly 80 people have already seen it, so why don't I just leave it up? And if I take it down, I probably lose the 80 people in terms of my stats. So, you know, you've got to look at it and sort of weigh up those options. And to me, it's like a no-brainer. Yeah, that's not the quality of video I put up. And whatever the cost, I need to get it down and get a good quality video up. I've got the equipment, I've done it, it's there. I just, for some reason, it's not getting where I need it to go as a clear image. So I did it again. And then last but not least, I did it again. And the last time I changed the program that I was using to create the video. Not the base footage, but the turning it into an actual movie. So to this day, I'm still not quite sure. I will know probably tonight, because if when I upload tonight it's fuzzy, I will know that it's more than likely the program is having a problem. The program that I'm using. But the point that I wanted to make about this is, you know, could I just roll my eyes and go, oh well, you know, it doesn't work, so what the heck, and leave it? Yes. But you know, those of you who know me quite well, that's not what I do, and therefore I had to pull it down and do it again and again and again. And I guess what I wanted to just remind you all is that you have to have high motivation for that to be even possible. Do you understand what I'm saying? If I really didn't care too much about the quality of my work, if I didn't care too much about you guys, if I didn't care too much about whatever, you know, it wouldn't be important. And therefore, I wouldn't fix it. It's just like, okay, fine. But you know, I am concerned, and better than that, I know that you guys are concerned about me. Thank you. I appreciate that. And so, you know, to me, it's like very important. And so even though I got home later than I expected last night, I did not go to bed until that thing was up and working properly. Having said that, got to tell you about last night. Now, you will know that I don't go out a great deal, and yet, funny enough, this week I'm going out twice. It's my popular week. Anyway, I went out for dinner. And for those of you who remember, I had that wonderful student who worked with me for 3 weeks. Well, his parents invited me to dinner, and I wasn't that kind of them. And I don't mind telling you that I was a little apprehensive, because just because I got on well with a student doesn't necessarily mean that the parents will enjoy me. Because, you know, I'm a bit chatty, and I have opinions, and I really don't know how to keep my mouth shut. So, and I do try, believe me, and it doesn't work. So it was quite cute, because even in the afternoon broadcast, I was talking to the viewers at the broadcast, and I was going, okay, fine. And I was trying to remember, bless their heart, my viewers were reminding me of all the subjects I should stay away from. And they're probably, you know, most of the topics that I would discuss. And it was so cute, because they obviously cared. And then at the end, they all just said, hey, Sal, just be you. If they like you, that's great. If they don't, that's okay too. So it was just a little apprehensive. But also very flattered that they would invite me to dinner. So off I go, and I got there on time, and it was so cute, because I had the door open to me. I almost didn't ring the doorbell when the door opened, and the dog, you know, tried to attack me verbally. And it was a schnauzer, so I knew not to mess with it. There's certain dogs that you just, I don't know, you know. Anyway, so I just let the dog do its thing, and I let the owners sort out the dog while I waited. But with that, we walked into the kitchen. And the most amazing thing was disaster had hit in the kitchen about 5 minutes before I arrived. So I want you to imagine for a second you are now the lady of the house, who is delightful, loved her to bits as well, as I did the father. So, but anyway, I didn't really know either of them at that point at all. So I walk into the kitchen, and it smelled so good. You could smell bacon was one of the ingredients. And it's never easy when I have to tell people I'd love to come to dinner, but I'm allergic to garlic, because, you know, it puts a lot of people right off entertaining me. So she said, we're going out for dinner, which had me very confused. And at that, my whole face must have been reflecting my confusion, because why are we going out to dinner when whatever it is that's in the oven smells that good? And then she said, let me show you why. Okay. So she opened up the door of her oven, and inside there were these beautiful Cornish hens wrapped in bacon, sitting in what was left of a shattered Pyrex dish. The Pyrex dish had exploded. Can you imagine that? Never, I've heard of Pyrex dishes exploding, but only normally if they go under extreme heat change. If you take them straight out of the deep freeze and try and put them in a hot oven, that would cause it to explode. But you're going, really? Anyway, so now of course we've got to work out where we can eat because of my allergy. So we did, and it was very nice. And there was something about this family that was delightful. And when I say delightful, we ended up talking about so many different subjects in the space of a few hours that it was quite, well, for me, very stimulating. It was just like, wow. And the husband is involved in the education system. And so obviously we were talking about how that has changed and what they are doing to try and provide more meaningful education to young people. And I'm a little bit away from that because I don't have children in the system. But it was very interesting to hear some of the things that they're doing to change the education system away from what we used to do, which was push stuff down their throat. And now what they're saying is that it's more important today for them to teach young people information management, so they know where to go and how to get the information they want, because there is so much information online today. As we know, school books, are out of date by about 4 years by the time they're even printed. So it's much more important today that young people understand the basics, but then know how to manipulate, if you like. I don't manipulate, sounds like a bad word, it's not what I mean. How to expand that knowledge, let's put it that way. So that was a fascinating discussion, and I hadn't really thought about that. But anyway, it turned out that we talked on all sorts of subjects about, obviously about my retirement and how challenging that was, and also about my learning disability, which I felt. But it was just a fun evening. And normally on a Sunday night, I would not be still out at 10:30 at night. I would have been home long before. But it really was, and I hope that I get a chance to meet them again. And I will say this, that I really did come home feeling quite stimulated. And the reason I wanted to talk about that is because I think as we get older, and some of you who listen to me are in my age group or close, we start to really severely limit what we do. And it's not intentional. We don't purposely say, I don't think I'm going to go out anymore or whatever. But our circle of friends shifts. We lose some. And we're not necessarily making new friends at the rate that maybe we did in our 20s or 30s. And I think that's an interesting point that we, might look at and just go, why not? And part of that is about, well, I can't be bothered. Or I can't afford it. because whatever the excuse is. And I would just challenge you this week to do something that pushes that social envelope a little bit. Doesn't matter what age you are, just push the social envelope. Actually do accept the invitation that you probably weren't going to. Is there any guarantee that you're going to enjoy it? No. It could be an absolute pain. But also there wasn't any guarantee for them that they were going to enjoy it either, and who knows if they did. Actually, that's not totally true, because when I got home, I had talked about something that I'd seen online, and I said, oh, I'll send them the link. And I did. I immediately came home and sent the link to the son and said, please pass this on to your parents for me, with a thank you for the beautiful dinner and how much I'd enjoyed myself. But to my amazement, when I went back seconds later to do something else, I saw there was a note on my Facebook from the mum, thanking you, genuinely, I hope, genuinely thanking me for coming and how much fun she'd had. And I was very touched by that. There was an accident waiting to happen. I'm driving along, and a little old lady just decides to cross the road. Not at a crossway of any sort, not at a zebra crossing or zebra crossing or at anything else, just decided to cross the road in front of me. Luckily my brakes still work. Now, to be fair, she probably thought that I wouldn't stop and that she would go behind me, but in Canada, the pedestrian is king. I don't know what the laws are in the States, but in Canada, the pedestrian is king. So I decided to stand on the brakes so that I could stop in time. And she just waddled away. Very exciting. All right, so here we go. This week, let's push the social envelope a bit. I'm going to be going off tomorrow night. I just want to warn you of that, which means I may or may not have video for tomorrow night. I might take this one and trying to think what I've got in the hopper, if I've got anything. Just trying to think if I've got anything put away for a moment like this. Don't think I've got anything in the back burner, but I could be wrong. So if for any reason you don't see video tomorrow, it's not that it's not there, because I will do tomorrow's vlog on the way to work. It's just that it might be that you get 2 on Wednesday, for example. That makes sense, right? All right, everybody, have a great day. Challenge yourself socially, see what you can do. If nobody invites you out anywhere, invite somebody. I know you can't afford it. Do it anyway. Most people would rather have, spaghetti and a chance to chat. Do somebody a favor. And for those of you who can, invite a lonely person. When I say a lonely person, invite somebody who probably doesn't go out a whole lot. Be creative. This is Dear Mama Sal saying thank you so much for being there. If you don't know about what we do at Dear Mama Sal, check all the links below into all the social media and the times of our broadcasts and all those sort of things are all in the notes below. And in the meantime, I'm sending you a big virtual hug. Look after one another, but as usual, most of all, look after yourself. This is Dear Mama Sal saying bye-bye for now.